Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Pouring Takes. Today we are joined with special guests KShock, Christine, and Connie. Take it away, Rayya.
Hello, welcome to a special edition of Pouring Takes, Ladies Who Brunch. And by brunch, I mean just drink sparkling rosé. Food will come later, but right now we have good drinks, good friends, and a lot of stuff going on in the world.
Very exciting. It is August 10th, 2025. What is your day looking like?
I am here with my friends.
Oh, man.
Living my best life.
What an outlook.
Brunching with the ladies.
Brunching with the ladies and producer Tanner, of course. Can't go anywhere without producer Tanner.
That's right.
Yeah, making us look fabulous.
Glad I could join you.
All right, girls. Quick intros. Like Tanner said, we've got KShock with us, who has been on Pouring Takes before.
Say hello, KShock.
Hi.
There she is.
And then we've got Connie, who has also done an episode with us before.
Hello, hello.
And last but not least, Christine, making her podcasting debut.
Yes, very excited to be here.
I am so glad you guys are here. I know we've been talking about doing this for like the last month, and our group chat's been lit with all of the stories and all of the things we want to cover, so I can't wait to get into it. But in order for our audience to get to know you guys a little better, here we are at Water's Edge Winery and Bistro. I want to know what your favorite wine is, and I'm going to start with you, KShock.
Yeah, I love a sparkling rosé. I love sparkling everything, but really my favorite wine is a port, a dessert wine. I know that's cringe for a lot of people, but I love sweet wine. I just love it so much.
You are a sweet girl.
Do you have dessert and port at the same time?
Or are you just drinking?
I just drink it.
Oh, there you go.
I will
There
have
you
a
go.
glass of it. I won't even have the little glass that they give with it. I'll have a full glass of
Those little glasses are so
it.
cute.
They are really cute.
So before you leave here, we do have two dessert wines. We have a white wine-based limoncello that we did have shots of before we started.
Yes, we
Was delicious.
It was very good.
Very
So
good.
good.
Yeah, but we also have a vanilla bourbon one, which is a red wine-based one, and so I gotta get you a taste of that.
That's your
before you leave.
kryptonite. Look at her face.
Also, she and her husband just did a big trip.
A big bourbon trip.
Yes.
So that sounds right up my alley.
I think I love you and your husband. So tell me more.
Join us. Rayya, what's your favorite?
I am all about the sparkling rosé, any kind of rosé, but like if I am getting to choose whatever I want, I'm a Cabernet Sauvignon kind of person. Like give me a good steak and a good cab.
Oh, yeah.
What
Speaking
about
my
you?
language.
Okay, I'm also going to pull kind of a note from KShock. Like, I do love sparkling rosé. However, I've been drinking orange wine recently.
Ooh.
And I have to say, I really enjoy it. And so that's been fun to explore. It's like not super sweet, but kind of the same summery spring vibe. So yes, I'm going to go with orange wine right now.
Nice.
Well, I have to do the same thing and plug more of our wines for you.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Do the
Oh my gosh,
thing.
great.
We have 3 different types of rosés on the menu. We've got this Rosé Brut Sparkling that we're drinking right now. We've got a Sangiovese Rosé and a Pinot Noir Rosé. So if you try all of them, they all hit a little bit differently, but it's still that like nice, crisp rosé that you're thinking. And then for our orange ones, we have a bunch of different sangrias. So we've got a blood orange one, we've got a raspberry dragon fruit one, that's my favorite, a pomegranate one, and I think we have a peach apricot one now as well.
Oh my God.
So
Okay,
Wow.
definitely try.
we gotta
That's
figure out a
incredible.
flight for you later.
I was going to say, are we about to catch flights and no feelings here?
Absolutely.
Count me in.
Wait, done and done. Yeah, that's perfect.
We'll do that with the food, just in case.
Right? Safety first.
Who needs food?
All right. And then, as you guys know, this is also a sports show, and you guys are very sporty girls, which is why the 4 of us get along so well. Tell me what teams and leagues that you follow regularly. And Christine, I'm going to start with you this time.
Yeah, so I would say, obviously by my jersey, big Wings girly. So definitely WNBA. I'm also really big into watching National Women's Soccer League. There's a lot of Euro play and a lot of the tournaments relevant to soccer. One other thing I'll say that's more emerging, but I think it'll be like kind of a fun plug to say, there's a lot of new fun sports leagues that are going to be starting. Like they're trying to do rugby leagues that are abroad. They're going to bring them to US and then volleyball as well. So that's one where like it's a little harder to follow compared to soccer and basketball. But I've been following because I'm really excited to see how that translates where there's more of a presence in the US.
What about you, Connie?
Yeah, so I love summer. I love baseball season for sure, but I am really big on college football. I will watch all games and yell at all of the TVs, no matter where I am, no matter if it's my team, Penn State. We love them. So that's usually my primary, but we're going into hockey season, NFL season. I was telling Charlie, I've had this shirt probably for over 10 years. So big sports fan as well. But one of the things I'm really excited to hopefully get into this coming fall is the Professional Women's Hockey League. I feel like that's something that's really emerging, and I feel like I want to get in on the front end of that. We have new sports, the new location teams coming up. It's going to be available on different streaming platforms, which is amazing, and that goes to the accessibility of it too. So we'll see how all this season goes.
Oh man, women's hockey. What are the fights going to be like that?
They've
Hopefully
been around
brutal.
for what,
Oh,
like
yeah.
2
Lots of hair
seasons
pull.
now?
Yeah.
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 So, but all the teams are up north, so it's kind of hard for us in Texas to like pick an allegiance. But
That
hey,
makes sense. They have
anything
ice
is
up
possible.
there.
I mean, we have ice down here. We have one of
We-
the top NHL teams in the league.
That's true. That's true.
Give us a women's team. Kristen, what about you?
Well, speaking of up north, I'm a big Green Bay Packers fan, which is
Boo.
why I was on the podcast last time, I believe. I actually follow all of NFL. I not only have a fantasy league, I have a pick'em league. I have a pick'em against the spread league. I follow all of the NFL teams on social, especially TikTok. But I also follow the New York Liberty team, and I'm a Wings fan as well. I'm so glad that they have Paige. We'll talk about their trades later.
Oof.
But
It's a sore topic.
But
is.
speaking of sports that are emerging that I am trying to follow is flag football is going to be an Olympic sport, and I've been trying to follow the qualifying U.S. teams and seeing what they're all about. But I haven't seen too much coverage of those sports quite yet. I'm hoping the closer we get to those Olympics, the more we'll see them in mainstream.
Dude, flag football looks like the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Flag football looks like a sport I could probably get in shape for and try out.
Let
Like,
the
I want
ladies
to.
play.
Yeah.
Ladies play.
Well, if you need a league, let me know. BVB Dallas is doing their charity event for tackling Alzheimer's on the 23rd. And myself and 2 of our front of house bartenders will actually be serving drinks there for their games. So if you want to learn more about their
Call the group
flag
chat.
football, let me know.
Wait.
Yeah, we're coming.
I'm actually.
Yeah.
happening.
Sorry, when is it?
August 23rd at Bishop Lynch High School.
running to my calendar now.
Yeah, I don't leave town to the 24th. I'm in.
We'll see you there.
Sounds good. All right. We have so much to cover today. We're going to get into some WNBA action. We're going to talk women's soccer. We're going to talk about women's sports in general because why not for beautiful women up here. And then if we have time, we're going to get into some NFL action. So let me start. Let's tip off with the WNBA. First of all, cheers to this happening. I am so glad we were able to make this work.
Just us girls.
Yep.
Just us girls.
This group text has made me so excited to talk sports with people who are excited about it, but also the different varieties of it. So thank you all for that. That's brought me a lot of joy.
Yes,
that.
same.
Yeah.
And like I said, I feel like that's such a pillar of our friendships across the board. I mean, I've known Kristen and Christine for almost a decade at this point, and
Oh my god.
I know, right? Crazy.
Oh my god.
Are you sure?
Yeah, guys,
It
do the
feels
math.
like yesterday. Yeah, sorry, I'm barely 16. I don't understand.
Well, I'm just a baby. But no, that's like one of the things we first bonded on when we worked together at that place. That was horrible, but different story for a different day. But let's talk WNBA. 3 of us up here, big time Wings fans. You said you were a Wings fan, which I don't blame you if you are no longer a Wings fan, knowing who you are. And then you also said you follow the Liberty. So what do you guys think about this WNBA season as a whole so far as we get into playoff season? Can you believe it? Time is flying.
No, it's been super fun to watch all the games. There's definitely been some games with bigger swings than I was expecting on that point differential, but that's fine. That's bound to happen. And a lot more injuries. I know that I've had a couple friends try to travel for games to see certain players, whether it's Caitlin Clark, come to Dallas and see Paige. And when the injuries happen, it's just like, what are you going to do? But they're still enjoying the sport, which is what is super exciting about that fan base is, yeah, your player's not in, but everything else is still great and still rallying around it.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great call out. And to your point, too, with like kind of the swing backs, and I know you're a Liberty fan, but even Liberty, for example, with Brianna Stewart being out, they've lost a number of games, which by no means is a reflection of like the quality of their team, but, you know, they were the champions last year. So I think there have been a lot of unexpected ups and downs. The Lynx are doing really great, which makes sense as well. I think for me, what's been really interesting, and this is a little broader, I guess, in terms of like, we've talked about how we bonded over women's sports, but like, I feel like when I've talked to people, the difference between, even compared to last season to this season, is exponential in terms of people who would not normally follow WNBA. But to your point, like if I was like, oh, I'm going to go to a Wings game, they would want to come or actually recognize players' names beyond Caitlin Clark, who, of course, is like a very well-known name. But now I think people are starting to recognize like Dejanay, Asia Wilson. And so that for me has been really interesting, not only just in terms of all these high player recruits coming in, but like the knowledge of, if we're talking to people, I just feel like more people actually follow and care, which is sad to say, but I think it's good. Like I think people are starting to care more. And viewership has been up a ton with a lot of games, which is exciting because the more ad revenue you get, the more players are, more importantly compensated, which they deserve.
$2.2 billion TV deal incoming. Yeah. That's amazing. Could you believe it? Like in our lifetime that this is happening. Sometimes I like look back. Like I was at the American Airlines Center for the Fever Wings game last week, and Caitlin Clark obviously didn't play, but it was still a full stadium. And I was like, in my lifetime, I'm at the American Airlines Center watching a WNBA game. Like that's crazy. That's crazy. I could have never imagined it. Shock.
Well, we talked about Dejanay a little bit.
Sore subject.
Yeah,
We love her.
Nay is my girl. I'm very sad that she was traded to the Lynx. Happy she's on the most winning team right now, though. I'm super happy for her. I love following the Liberty just because they didn't get any big names this past draft, and it's okay. They're still winning. They're still winning. They're still there. They still have great talent. And they're part of that team that's just sort of like, hey, we're the best, even though you don't know anybody on our team. And I say you don't know anybody on our team.
That's not true.
Mainstream.
Brianna Stewart is hella mainstream.
Oh.
And Sabrina
I love all of the players on that team.
I don't blame you.
There. But if I just went up to somebody who never watches the WNBA, they probably wouldn't even know what the New York Liberty is, to be honest.
I don't know about that. My younger sister lives in Brooklyn, and I was literally talking to her about this like 2 days ago. And she's not a sports girly. She's the anti-me. We're complete opposites, and I love her for that. And she goes, dude, I am so bummed. I said, what's wrong? She goes, last year I could have gone to a New York Liberty game for $25.
Oh no.
This year to sit at the top of Barclays is minimum $200. I'm pissed. I'm so pissed.
That's how the Wings are.
That's how all the teams are at this point. And I love seeing that growth. And then the other thing, you cannot talk about the WNBA without talking about the stud buds. Courtney Williams,
adorable.
That was my favorite part of the All-Star break. Oh boy.
Oh my God, the way they just exploded. Like I was watching their Twitch stream before All-Star break, and I'm like, these two are freaking ridiculous. The episode they had Dejanay on is what hooked me in. And just like the way they freely talk about their lives, the league, going through All-Star weekend, talking about like the CBA negotiations. Anytime a minor inconvenience happens, Courtney's like, call Caitlin. Call Caitlin Clark. To this day, she was at Topgolf and she goes, 3-hour wait, call Caitlin Clark. I'm not doing this. I am not doing this. Those two are freaking ridiculous, and they are stars. They're absolute stars, and they brought in so much viewership on their backs as well, and that was fun to watch for me.
I agree. We have very different groups of friends. I often find myself saying, you don't know who this person is? Educate yourself. Call Caitlin Clark. Tell her to get on this and educate my friends, please.
I remember, like, I didn't do the Pouring Takes episode after All-Star Week because I was moving. And I told the guys, I said, if you're going to cover WNBA All-Star, just Google stud buds. Just Google it and then do whatever you want. But just promise you do this. And they did it. They listened. And their segment on WNBA All-Star, pretty damn good. I'm so proud of you guys.
Thank you. We worked really hard on that.
We don't need to give men that much credit, though. It's okay.
Take that back.
One other call I'll say, and this is obviously with like a former WNBA player, but in addition, which I think has been really fun. So Lisa Leslie has a YouTube show where she'll interview former and current WNBA players called Between the Lines. Also really fun. And they've had exactly what you were saying, a lot of really interesting coverage on negotiations and just the difference of like how she played and what players contracts were like till now. So one other plug, she's a really, really great show as well.
Okay, so while we're on that topic, CBA negotiations took place during that All-Star weekend, and I haven't had a chance to really talk about it with anybody. Players walked away from 2 meetings that weekend being like, ew, these offers that they gave us are absolutely insulting. I'm trying to get my fair share. For context, the WNBA players only get 9% share of the revenue. In other leagues, it's upwards of 40 or 50%. And so there's a lot of back and forth on the possibility of a lockout. How are you guys seeing this situation play out? And I'm going to start with you, Connie.
Yeah, no, I think it's so empowering to see people just teaming together and being like, pay us what we're worth. Like, we are bringing so much attention to this league. There's so many names out there, individual names, like we were saying earlier, too. But they rally around each other is just something so supportive versus going after what you can get as your own individual player or where you need to be underneath different salary thresholds, right? And so just that unified experience and just the visibility that's being brought to the situation is just insane. And I really hope it works out and they get paid and we can have that more exposure. Because like you're saying about the $25 tickets versus the $200 tickets, where is all that money going? Obviously, stadiums and stuff, but like still, give it to the players. Let's get them there.
Yeah, I think this is sad to say, but I think now they have more leverage than ever, because I think unfortunately the only time, whether you would say like organizations care or channels care, is when there's money involved. Right now, like you were saying earlier, Rayya, like there's more viewership, there's more money. So many of these players have ad deals and they're becoming progressively more mainstream. More people care and more people are actually structuring their weekends around like, I want to see this game, or like I want to go with a group of my friends to go. And I think, bluntly put, because they have more leverage, i.e. they'll lose money if games don't play, I could see them walking out, because I think this is a time where they're not like, oh shoot, like they would just fire us all and replace us with other people, which unfortunately, yeah, I think if this were like the 90s when the league first started, like that would be a much greater concern. But now there's money on the table to be like, you're not going to have all these players play that people care about. Like, you're not going to have these $200 tickets actually be validated. So I could see it going to that. I guess I should say I could see them going to the line where they would do that, but I think they wouldn't actually let that happen because there's too much line and viewership on the table. But I could see them being like, we're willing to do it because we know our worth and we actually have, unfortunately, the money and kind of the metrics to show that like people care, even though people did before.
You hear that? Know your worth.
That's right, ladies.
Cheers.
What about you?
All right, I have to pack onto that. There are so many more sponsorship opportunities in the WNBA. With the tunnel walk-ins alone, the carpets have TJ Maxx on them. The background has different airlines. I think Alaska Airlines sponsored somebody at one point. There's so many new ad revenue streams coming into the WNBA that they should get paid what they're worth. And they're not asking to get paid as much as the men. They're asking to get paid the same percentage as men. And I think that's very important to distinguish, because a lot of the arguments that I hear across family members, across social media, is that they don't deserve to get paid as much as men, which is a whole different conversation. I won't get into
Preposterous.
but they should get the same percentage of ad revenue. At the end of the day, I think they're only getting 10%, whereas the men are getting 50%. Now when I go to a bar, I see a WNBA game on the TV, which is something I did not see 5 years ago. I am so excited about that. They are bringing in more revenue. They should get paid more and get paid what they deserve from that revenue.
Oh, yeah. We have the games on here pretty often, like basically all the time, every time there's a game playing. But I also think another point is the fact that individual college players are now able to make their own money. So once they graduate, once they're trying to get drafted, they're not going to get that same pay that they're getting from these ad deals that they're doing by regularly playing for their schools. So how are the markets going to compete with that when they become these professional athletes and want to get acquired by these different teams?
Yeah, and that's the difference between men's and women's. Men's, they want to come straight out of college and go straight to the NBA because those contracts are insane. With women, you see like Juju Watkins could probably come out next season if she wanted to. She's going to stay in college because she's going to make more as a college athlete. And that's our loss because she's amazing.
Or they hop over to the three-team league.
So I was going to bring up Unrivaled. So in the case that the WNBA does have a lockout, Unrivaled, which is owned by Breonna Stewart and Nafisa Collier, we saw the first season go through. That was fun. First of all, I had no idea 3-on-3 ball would be so fun.
I got very
3v3
invested
is the
into it.
future of basketball.
And not just that, just the way they thought about doing their quote all-star weekend, they added that one-on-one tournament. Like, how fun was that to see that? Like, we had a whole conversation on Pouring Takes about if there was a one-on-one tournament in the NBA. Like, that would be probably one of the most lit things ever, and the women thought of that first. And so the WNBA, like you said, they're playing with house money at this point. It's their faces, their viewership, their sponsorship deals. If they can't play in the WNBA, all right, we're just going to hop over Unrivaled. Unrivaled already pays them great money compared to the WNBA. Unrivaled can expand their season and pay them and put them in the greatest. They got the best training rooms. They got the best staff. They got the best coaches. They have nothing to lose here. The only person or entity that'll lose is the WNBA itself, because then the WNBA becomes obsolete if everyone's watching Unrivaled, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and good riddance if that's what it takes, man. If you're not going to get paid in the WNBA, there's no reason to be here.
Yeah, and I mean, Diana Taurasi actually just dropped a documentary on Amazon Prime, and I've only seen like clips of it, but she's like, I had to go to a communist country to be paid like a capitalist. That's insane.
Yeah.
She goes, there were moments where the janitor was making more money than me in the WNBA. That's wild. That is wild to me for how hard these women work, how many hours they spend in the weight room, how many hours they spend at practice, how many hours they spend in treatment, to just come out with not their worth. Not okay.
Yeah. It's pretty rough, man. What
But
are y'all going to do about it?
what are we going to do about it? Well,
gonna
we
say-
will see. We will see how it goes. Go.
Do the lockdown, ladies.
Yeah.
Lock it down.
I'm for it, man. If
We
there's
will-
ever a time to, like, hold the knife to the throat, this is it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I mean, like, a lot of people will say a lockout will, like, ruin women's basketball. I think it's going to make it even bigger.
We have TikTok now. We get to see the other side of it.
Exactly. The social media component across sports, not just in this situation, but really, like, helps you see the other side. And it's wild. It's
Right.
something that these big corporations haven't had to deal with before.
Exactly.
And I love it.
The old days, they could say, well, these players are just ungrateful. They're just ungrateful. They should be grateful getting to get paid the way they get paid.
Tanner is Jerry Jones, ladies and
Oh,
gentlemen.
dude. That's right. They should just be grateful out there
That felt right.
playing a game.
Right? Felt appropriate.
How many times has there been an NBA lockout?
Oh, a handful
Nobody
for sure.
One or
complained.
two.
Everybody
One or
was
two,
like,
right?
"Let's be
Recently?
grateful."
I think one other thing too you bring up, which is a really good point, is how so many of the players before felt like they had to play abroad versus by choice, right? Like if you want to, it's fine. But yeah, like that shouldn't have to be a choice, especially if you think about it. Like some people, maybe they have like partners in the US or family or they have kids. And so for me, that's also, it's really important, interesting in the negotiations, because it's like, it's of course about the here and now, but it's also about quality of life, right? Like if you're not getting paid enough as a janitor or something, that's like, where are you going to live? I mean, different sport, but to give it a similar example, like for example, back in the day with National Women's Soccer League, you were paid so little that they would have programs where you would live with families, right? And that's going to dissuade talent. And so I think that's also goes to what you're saying earlier. Like if you feel like you can't be in one place or you're not going to get paid enough, it gives and pushes away talent. And I think not only for the players now, for players of the future, to encourage talent to come in that wouldn't before, you have to provide them equitable pay and like a quality work-life balance, because not everyone can afford, right, to be able to have such a low pay that they'd have to forsake, I don't know, supporting their families or whatever. So for me too, it's an interesting point where I'm going abroad, because again, like if you want to do it, of course, that's an amazing opportunity. But if you feel like you have to, kind of like Diana Taurasi was saying, where so you could actually get paid like a living wage, that's not right. You don't ever hear about male players in any way, shape, or form ever having that experience in the NBA, and that's unacceptable.
True.
Yeah, to that point, your point about sponsorships and tunnel fits. I know Coach did a huge sponsorship for the WNBA draft earlier this season, essentially dressing every woman in the first round. That brings me to this. We've seen so many amazing outfits thus far this season. Do you have a favorite player that every time she walks through the tunnel, you're like, oh my effing God, you are the most gorgeous human on the planet. I have to have this look, or this look is flawless. Who stands out to you the most thus far this season? Kristen, I'm going to start with you.
Aja Wilson. From the Aces. Everything that woman wears, perfect. I don't know her stylist. I don't know if she's her own stylist. I need it. I need what she is selling, which brings me back to, when is the WNBA going to wake up and realize that these women are selling things to the general audience. Anything Asha wears, I want, and I want to buy it now.
Right? Show me those tags on her Instagram page.
Right,
Let me
you
see
just
what
need to-
brand she's buying from.
Exactly.
She's freaking gorgeous.
Oh, yes. Ooh, and that helps, right? The clothes. I love also everything that Cameron Brink is
she's my
wearing.
favorite.
And I really also love the sponsorships that have come from the tunnels, in the sense of I think Prada sponsors Caitlin Clark. And she's always dripped in Prada every time we see her, which I'm here for. I'm here for it. I want a Prada bucket hat. Where can I get one?
Right?
We're going to Italy.
Half the stud buds called Caitlin Clark for you.
Yeah, call Caitlin Clark. But my favorite outfit so far this year, I actually have two. One is a Louis Vuitton number that I hope we can put up a photo for you guys later. It was Izzy Harrison who plays.
I love Izzy.
Liberty.
I know what you're talking about. It's such
Yeah.
an outfit.
She wore a Louis Vuitton corset on top of a white button-up dress situation with a matching Speedy bag. It was, I could eat it up. It was so cute. Where can I get that corset? I know Louis Vuitton doesn't sell it. Where did she get it from? Did Kristen Cusack make it for her? I don't know.
She's so talented.
But
Real quick on Izzy.
yes,
Izzy used to play for the Dallas Wings.
yes.
And after her contract was up that summer or that break time, whatever it was, she actually walked in New York Fashion Week.
I love
that
I
is
didn't know
how
that, really?
freaking
I did
yeah.
not know that.
So
either.
that was the first time I realized how women's basketball and fashion overlap was because of Izzy Harrison. I followed all of her socials
I love
when she
that.
played here. I was obsessed with her. I actually wore like the one leg at the gym for a while because I love her.
I love that. Then I'm glad she's like my number one fashion icon. for
She,
women's
I would vote that Izzy Harrison is the WNBA fashion icon.
I have to agree with that.
I
Yep.
definitely agree with that.
Yep.
Definitely.
Unanimous.
I also I also love anything that Nay wears. Anything that she wears. Don't even care if it doesn't match. I love it. Love it. But my number one outfit this year so far comes from Ellie, the mascot.
Yes. I've been waiting for this.
She recently wore a custom-made two-piece skirt suit, and her skirt was made of a hoop, a net.
Nice.
It is so adorable. Look it up if you haven't seen it. I love it so much. I think it's super unique. I love that the mascot is involved, but I will let somebody else talk about fashion because I will go on for like 6 hours.
I just want to say the point about Ellie is like genius marketing. Like genius.
Mhm.
Yep. Absolutely.
That is the way you use a mascot. Like putting them at the forefront of every event possible, putting her on the runways of New York.
She had a Birkin bag at one point. I love it.
Masterclass on mascotting right there.
And I have no sense of fashion, and I was gonna say Ellie so hard. I was like dropping things in the group message, super excited to talk about her. She recently did like a Lady Gaga themed like experience, and that gown that she was wearing, I was like, I could never.
She came
She's
in an egg.
amazing.
Anna
It's insane.
Anna Wintour next May is Ellie at the Met Gala.
She showed up in an egg, just like Lady Gaga at that game.
And it's insane, and she just brings so much like charisma to the outfit as well, and then just it brings people so much energy and so much excitement. And Christine, you were saying something great about that earlier. If you want to keep going,
Yeah. Honestly, everything that you guys have said in terms of like who you would choose, totally agree. And I think to Connie's point earlier, one thing that I thought was really interesting that plays into the discussion about like fashion inspiration. So there's one interview, and you can Google it, but with a couple of publications, they were talking with not only kind of the person that does like media, but also who's helps facilitate all the mascot kind of logistics. That for them, it was really important to have someone from Brooklyn be Ellie, because they were saying that when they had the idea of fashion and energy and things like that, like they wanted New York to really come through. So the woman who plays, or not plays, but who actually is Ellie every game, like helps them decide what fashion to wear, like what makeup or hairstyle to do. And so, yeah, I think it just goes to everything you guys were saying. It's a really smart play, and I think that's why we all like it. It feels authentic. It's not like, oh, it feels kind of like weird. It's very New York. It's very to the team spirit. So, yeah, I think it's just such a cool way to have just even more team kind of, I don't know, allegiance and excitement when you're thinking about the New York Liberty.
It gives them an identity that they didn't otherwise accomplish.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I love it. I love the crossover between fashion and women's basketball. We saw this happen with the NBA in the last 10 years, I would say, when they went from wearing like actual street clothes to actual clothes, because they were like, we're going to raise the standard for men. But the women always come out firing on all cylinders. And that's probably one of my favorite things to see on Instagram is like, what is Paige wearing, for example? Paige is, I just love Paige. I think she's got such a different style compared to the other women. And my favorite, outside of Cameron Brink, I have like a weird crush on Cameron Brink. I don't know what it is.
Same.
Not weird.
We all do. Is
Not weird.
There is something
The world does?
there is something about the over the knee boots and the mini skirt she wears.
So tall.
She's what, 6'7"? Like, my God, that
Those
woman
legs.
is
she's a human Barbie. She's literally a human
literally.
Barbie.
And
Yeah.
then she's injured for half the year, comes back, and all of a sudden is leading the league in blocks. Like, what? What? Okay, no. Cameron Brink, definitely my number one. But I would say a close number two for me is Nakia Mole. She's injured right now. She's out with a torn ACL, plays for the Seattle Storm. She wore an all-leather fit for draft day, and she looked fucking phenomenal. Fucking phenomenal. So,
I think I was watching you guys record when we were seeing her walk through, and I'm like, I could be paying attention to y'all, or hello.
right? I'm over here being like, am I finding you attractive as a straight female? Okay. You know what? Different story for a different day. What players right now outside of the tunnel are really catching your eye? I know we talked a little bit about Caitlin Clark. We talked about Paige, Izzy, Asia, easily top 3 in the league. Who are you watching play that is absolutely taking your breath away?
Paige. Paige is on, no offense, a losing team. Sorry.
No, it's fair. Totally fair.
That's
Stats
just
don't lie,
facts.
unfortunately.
None of us are taking offense to this.
Facts. But Paige is catching my eye. She already caught my eye, obviously, before she started playing for the Wings. But she's breaking records left and right.
Mm-hmm.
She is showing this is what it's all about. She's breaking NBA records while in the WNBA, despite being on a losing team. But I think she's bringing in more audience to like pack onto that Caitlin Clark bandwagon.
Yeah, and it's a shame we haven't seen a game that features both Paige and Caitlin Clark yet.
I know.
But it'll happen when it happens. What about you guys?
So I am originally born in New York, so you're not missing anything here with me in the Liberty. I am super excited.
Love
And I've been watching Sabrina. I can't get my eyes off of her because she's like one of the people we were watching before we had Caitlin Clark, before we had Paige. And so I just want to continue to be able to be there and support her and everything that she's doing with that team. Like you said, not without the other all-stars surrounding her and all that hype that comes with the team, except for Ellie, who we've already talked numerous times about. So I just want to keep watching her do the good things and getting that recognition that she wasn't getting previously. So hope that she just keeps it up, and it's just an honor to keep watching it like this.
Yeah, I think Holly for me is a big one. I've just always thought she's an amazing player. I'm a huge Enrique fan. Like, I'm a diehard. So I will say I have a soft spot for her too. And I'm embarrassed and I'm blanking on her name, but there is one other player, number 0, that plays for Indiana that I think is
0 on Indiana.
What color hair does she have?
It's not Kelsey Mitchell. Kelsey Mitchell's 23. Sophia
I
Cunningham
was
is
gonna
not
say,
0.
is it
Lexi
Sophie?
Hall is 11.
maybe I'm mixing a name. It might be Kelsey Mitchell.
Kelsey Mitchell's a baller.
Okay, it's Kelsey Mitchell.
She's the one that's popping off with Caitlin Clark being
Yep.
injured.
So I was gonna say, okay. So the reason I was like, I'm so sorry, Kelsey, but the reason I bring this up is I have been a fan of her since last year. So my mom, fun fact, is like a diehard WNBA fan.
Love your mom.
Oh,
Love it. Yeah.
Wait till you go out with her.
Oh
my
mom
God.
is a vibe. And my mom, for context, doesn't do sports. Like, she hates grass. She hates like, she is like, this is nonsense. And so, but she's gotten really into WNBA. And so I took her to a game, Wayne's versus Indiana. And, you know, of course, like, Caitlin Clark, the whole team is amazing. But we both said last year, we were like, Kelsey Mitchell is so underrated. And so for me, like that's a player that I'm glad she's getting even more recognition now because I thought she was a fantastic player. So yeah, those two for me are players that I've been really excited to follow. And I feel like even with every season, they're getting more recognition and doing even better.
Okay, I'm gonna throw y'all a curveball.
Oh, wait, before you
Go.
I have to say, you mentioned Sophie Cunningham,
Ah,
another fashion icon.
absolute
that I
icon.
Great call out.
failed
Great call
to
out.
mention. I apologize if you're listening, Sophie Cunningham. Everything she wears, love it. Love it. Who is your stylist? Are you your own stylist? I need to know.
I
Please
literally
tell me.
follow her on TikTok because of her outfits.
Follow her on TikTok. I follow her on Instagram. I am ashamed I didn't mention her in that past conversation. Now throw your curveball. I had to throw that out there, though.
Okay, so being that we all love watching basketball, have y'all heard of the power straight theory?
I have not.
No, I haven't
Tell me
heard
more.
this.
Okay, good WNBA teams have a power straight.
Like a straight person?
A straight person in a sea of gays.
Oh.
So,
Oh.
for example, New York has Sabrina. Sabrina is a power straight. Indiana has Caitlin. Caitlin is a power straight. Minnesota has Nafisa Collier. Power straight. LA Sparks, too many straight women. Too many straight women. Kelsey Plum, Cameron Brink, too many straights. Dallas Wings, Paige Beckers, Enrique, too many gays. You can only be successful in the WNBA if you have a power straight. What do y'all think?
I
Power
think
straight.
I think the more gays, the better.
Yeah.
So a little unfortunate. That
I gotta say, speaking of crushes, I've had a crush on Courtney Williams since forever, so I'm with the gays. I'm with the gays.
I'm with the gays. If you need that one straight friend to like,
But I'm just saying,
ground
hey,
you,
hey, stats don't lie.
stats don't lie, and maybe it is that you need.
It's
your
the
one-
balance.
you need your one straight friend to ground you.
Wait,
on some
and
things,
maybe
or
this
vice
is
versa.
how the Wings actually fix the disastrous trades they made. Reorganize it by this theory.
I mean, originally, before the Dejanay Carrington happened, there were too many gays, right? You had Paige,
there's
Enrique,
never-
Dejanay, but the team has like less than 10 wins. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Let's level set here.
Hey, it's not my theory. I saw it on TikTok.
There's never too many gays. More gays.
Facts.
Yeah.
Bring more gays.
The more the merrier.
That's fine.
More the merrier.
I think we need a power straight to balance our lovely, not a bad thing, lovely gay energy.
Yeah, how you going to acquire
I was
that?
gonna say, who
I
would you
don't-
want to acquire then?
There's a girl. I don't actually know if she's straight
Yourself?
or not. No.
No, I'm just kidding.
After this
Me.
conversation, I'm not sure I could be a power straight. Let's be
What
real.
defines a power straight is what I want to know.
Yeah,
as
please.
Well,
Who?
No, a power straight is someone who is like openly hetero. Like, think about it. Asia Wilson's with Bam. I can't say his last name, from the Miami Heat. Sabrina's got her gorgeous tall white man, right? Caitlin Clark has her white man, and I'm not going to say anything about her boyfriend because that is a whole different story, as you guys know. Kelsey Plum used to be with Darren Waller, although I think Kelsey kind of swings both ways. But Cameron Brink has a man,
They recently got married.
adorbs.
So that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that you need that power straight to balance that wild,
But what
fun,
makes them
ama-
power?
Hey,
are
Internet, do you have
superstars.
opinions on this? I'm sure you do. Leave them in our comments.
I also have a question. Can a power straight be a coach or does it have to be a player?
Players only.
Okay. Because
I don't want to talk about coaches right now. I hate the Wings coach.
Oh, boy. Don't we hate
Are-
the Wings
Are they
coach.
straight? Is my question.
It's a man with a man bun.
So hold on. What happens if you are straight but not a power straight?
Then you're just
And you're on the bench.
closet
Essentially,
Okay,
You're
got
not
it.
playing.
no lies
You're not
detected.
You're not playing. You're not coaching.
All right, I'm going to move us out of WNBA action. And we were talking about the CBA. We were talking about women getting their fair share. And we're going to move into women's soccer. And that was such a polarizing topic for the last, God knows, like 4 or 5 years, with our amazing women's national soccer team doing all the things, winning all the tournaments, winning all the medals, saying, hey, we should be paid just as much as the men. I mean, some can argue more than the men because they win more than the men.
yeah, the men is a trash team.
So I'm going to turn it over to Christine because I am now labeling you as our soccer expert.
Oh, thank you. Well, okay, I will say, and KShock was talking a little bit earlier about like the connection it all has with CBA negotiations, but yes, I will say I'm a big soccer fan. I've played soccer my whole life, so for me, it's been really, really exciting to see the rise in women's soccer. I know I mentioned earlier too, for example, like if you wanted to play soccer for National Women's Soccer League, you would get paid on average. So this is during the time I knew like Mia Hamm, Julie Foudy,
Early 2000s.
early
Chastain.
2000s. Yeah, you would get paid on average minus endorsement deals, probably anywhere from $15,000 to $20,000. And I'm not exaggerating. Like that is truly what you play. So you can imagine how big of a deal it is now that now you can actually get played like much more competitive salaries, their endorsement deals. So for me, it's been really exciting. And the other thing I'll say, even outside of women's soccer in the U.S., is there's been a lot of viewership too, even abroad. For example, we had Copa America, we had the Euros, and those two tournaments that this year had the highest viewership it's ever had. I mean, sold out stadiums, things like that. So for me, it's been really exciting because I can tell you, even just from playing more competitive soccer when younger, there was nothing. I mean, you basically would go play college, maybe you'd go pro, but there weren't opportunities, there weren't training academies. So yes, I would say I have a lot to say, so I won't I won't talk of the time. But for me, it's a really exciting sports that not only are people caring more, but there's just more opportunities for women to play soccer. Even including right now, as we know, with the Dallas Trinity, there's a whole new soccer league. So yeah, I'll let other people speak to you. But for me, I'm really, really excited about how many more opportunities and I don't know how much more people care about women's soccer in general.
Yeah, and it kind of goes to your point that you were making earlier when we were talking WNBA is you say, hey, I want to go to a Trinity game. People are like, I want to as well. There's so much interest and people get so excited about it. And they're playing at the Cotton Bowl, which is always an amazing time just being there. I know last season they had a Puppies Day, which is where you'll sell me on anything.
It was
So-
really fun. I went. Highly recommend.
I've heard. And I heard they have great scarves. And I know that there's a lot of people who travel to games internationally. Like
Their
in the US.
branding.
Incredible.
Yes.
Oh my
Yes.
God, 10 out of 10
Incredible.
on the maroon and gold combo because it doesn't fit the normal
Yeah.
like Dallas sports palette.
Can't go wrong with maroon and gold.
Evidence A.
Yes.
I didn't do that on purpose. But yeah, they did a really good job of marketing. Continue.
No, I'm good. Kristen, were you going to say something?
Oh, no, I was going to add to the U.S. Women's national team for soccer. I think really paved the way for women's sports and women's negotiations for their contracts. And I know I was saying that earlier, which sort of like spurred this bigger conversation around us. But honestly, that is the team where I would say should get paid more than the men. They are better. They win. People are paying attention to them. I'm so happy that the women fought their fight for it. And I'm very curious if they had any power straight forward that we should consider.
Alex Morgan,
Actually, wait.
Sydney LaRue.
I was just about to say, actually, now that you say that, they did have something on Instagram where they had Alex Morgan as the actual literal power forward and everyone else.
Literal
Power forward.
power forward.
And everyone else. All gay. Yeah.
You know, I want to touch on that because that's one of the things that overlap between the WNBA, women's soccer, and women's sports in general is, you know, these women are open about their sexualities. They're open about their partners. They're dating people on different teams. They're probably on the same team with their partner. That's something we don't see on the men's side, like, at all. I don't think we'll ever see that, to be perfectly honest.
Not
at least
openly,
not in
huh?
our lifetime. What do y'all think of that? What do y'all think of, like, being able to watch a game and just knowing, like, the backstory, like, oh, this player and this player used to date, or this player and this player are married?
I love it. Bring the drama.
And I think it brings another level of competition. Like, I think I got this sense, like, we can all be a little bit competitive here and there when we get to things. And if I'm playing against an ex or if I'm playing against a partner, it is insane how much farther I will push myself to be better than them. And so, but then you see the flip side. I cannot remember her name. Switched teams and got the same jersey number as her wife. So they are representing the same kind of spirit.
It's Nalissa Smith and Dejanay Carrington,
thank you.
where both on the wings got traded to different teams, but both wear the same number.
I love it. I'm here for it.
I love it too. It's like sort of when you're amongst your peers, you want to be judged differently or you care more. And if you throw your like significant other in that mix, it just brings a whole nother level of competition, I think. It would for me. So I assume that's the case for other people. But, you know, focus group of one over here. So
Yeah. I think one thing too, and I would say this isn't just for women's soccer, but women's sports in general. I think for me, what's also so amazing is that if you normalize same-sex relationships in sports, people can feel more comfortable outside of sports. I think it's the beauty of having
I love that.
respected public figures to say, like, who cares? Like, people should be with whoever they want with these amazing, beautiful relationships. And so for me, I think, and not to totally take another tangent, but one of the other things for me that's been fantastic with women's sports is there's a lot of like social justice issues. Just even being yourself and representing who you are, you're happy, healthy in a relationship. I think it just normalizes it for people. So it helps decrease homophobia and stuff like that. So for me, it's something where, of course, from a player point of view and competitive, it's exciting, but I think it's an amazing representation of like just normalizing things that should never be considered quote unquote not normal to begin with.
All right, I'm going to ask one more question here because it was a hot debate on our last Pouring Takes episode.
Oh, uh-oh.
Oh, no.
So Dallas Wings are obviously tanking. We've touched on it a couple times. All these trades.
They gotta be, right?
They have to be, which means they're probably going to have at least a top 3 pick in the upcoming draft. Now, we all know that Paige Becker's girlfriend, AZ Fudd, is going to be in this next draft. Keeping in mind that they're about 23, 24 years old, do you think it makes sense to draft your marquee player's girlfriend to your team, or do you stay away from that as an executive?
Oh, can I
Great
answer
question.
this first?
Go for it.
Whatever's gonna make you win.
See, that's right. That's the right freaking answer.
Whatever's gonna make you win.
That's, man, you can't be thinking about who's boning who. You got to be
But
out there
it
playing
is,
some
but it
basketball.
is important because if you have two 23-year-olds whose relationship doesn't make it,
You're
that's
absolutely
gonna
right.
fuck you up the ass.
I totally agree, but you can't be making those decisions from the booth. You know what I mean? The front office
But
can't be making determinations on who you're dating.
But they have to.
Well,
Well,
hold
in a
on.
way, they kind of have to.
Here's my caveat for this particular relationship. They've been dating since like high school. They've known each other since like high school. Even if they break up or if they're in a fight, they're going to leave it on the court. They're going to do who can be more competitive type of situation. I think it'll benefit them more than it's going to hurt them. I see your point, though, and it can be...
Tanner's losing it.
what are you talking about?
I'm talking about, I get where Rayya's coming from, where if two people who are in a relationship start fighting, they might end up consequently throwing a game without knowing it, right? Just because
They're not at their best or whatever.
somebody will trip another person.
Oh,
They might accidentally throw an elbow and hit the other person.
accidentally.
I don't know.
Put those in quotes.
But I think the benefits outweigh the cons when it comes to
I
the
don't know
wings.
about that. I don't know about that.
They suck.
There
They
are
need to be
other
better.
women in this draft that also make sense to fill that void, but I am not going to do this
They
right
do.
now.
They do. But the question was, does it make sense to draft somebody who is in a relationship with a current
Fair.
player?
That's true.
That's true.
I'm closer to where you were in the beginning. I think the relationship should be a non-factor. I think it's got to be black and white, on paper, growth potential, injury history, where they want to see themselves end up as well. I think you could take that much into consideration. Like, do you see this being a long-term option? Are you just trying to get in the door and kind of workshop your way around that and use this deal to leverage others? But I was like, this is a business decision. I do not think that you should rely on the relationships of 20-year-olds to make a decision that's could impact the way that Dallas as a city, community,
Organization.
Franchise?
organization,
There you go.
all of the above, want to be part of that fan base and want to engage in that. I mean, there are some people who, if they're having a messy time, they will want to show up to that game, but that's a very small percentage, I think, when it comes to the bigger picture of the season.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's more like, does the player fit in with the chemistry, right? So if you're like, hey, we need more, I don't know,
Power
defensive.
straight.
Yeah. Sorry, you're not,
Not
a
in
power
this case.
straight.
It's not it.
The opposite. We need a power guy. But the other thing too, and I know this is kind of a silly comparison, but it kind of makes me think of like, okay, like if you were to be, I don't know, thinking like trying to fill actors in a movie or something like that, you kind of would just like choose whatever and like maybe they'd fall in love on set, but that's like kind of none of your business. I mean, so in theory, if you're worried about that, I guess you could have a conversation with them. But I think if it's like the player profile and strengths and weaknesses work with the team, I think as a coach in a franchise, you have to be like, it's kind of what we were saying, KShock, like what's going to help the team win? Because in theory, anyone can be, I mean, people could be messy even a non-romantic thing. People could just be like, I kind of
Exactly.
hate
See
you.
Satu Sabali and Dewana Bonner.
Right.
Not an item absolutely hate each other.
Yeah, like people could just be like, I find you annoying and I hate you.
Yeah.
And so I think
I mean, look what happened to Luca. One
not-
dude was annoyed, and they traded away
Brandon
a whole
is
franchise.
not mic'd up. We're not talking about Luca.
I didn't even bring that up now. We're having such a great time, Tanner.
Yeah.
you wanna hop on? Yeah, have some thoughts.
This is a women's sports podcast.
Yeah, my bad.
I will say this. I will say Dallas has already kind of made a point of view on here by bringing on Dejanay and Alyssa Smith to begin this season. They were comfortable with a couple that had been together for so long, a couple that wanted to play together. I think when you have that track record, and not saying AZ and Paige don't, because like you said, they've been together for a very long time. I think being able to stake it on that makes sense. But the fact that Paige and AZ would be both first-round picks and 5-year commitments at a high hit at the salary cap, for me, that's a risk. And that's something I wouldn't invest in. And plus, I think it would be more fun for the league if they played against each other anyway. Just saying, Lauren Betts, I'm all in on you.
Could you imagine if Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce broke up? They were dating, and then they broke up on the field.
I'd be here for it.
I
Right?
actually would love
Bring
that.
the drama.
They already
The
have an
soap
affair show.
opera of like cross-dating team talent. Oh boy.
I love that about women's sports, though. And, like, when you
I
get into,
agree.
like, the country level, especially on soccer, those women are dating women in other countries, and they play each other in the World Cup. They
Lucy
played-
Bronze.
Yep.
Lucy Bronze, her girlfriend, plays on the Spanish team. They just played in the Euros. And that was a wild, wild game.
I think
Wild.
that's
And,
more fun.
Didn't Nay and Melissa play against each other in the WNBA playoffs?
Yep, they
Yes,
have.
They
right.
They
did.
have.
right.
Uh-huh.
Yes, they did last year.
Yeah, it just brings a whole nother, like, level of drama, a reason to watch. It's like getting to watch sports and soap operas at the same time.
The best part, truly the best of both
You're
worlds.
not going to get that from men. You're just
Why-
not.
Which is why
No.
women's sports is better.
Absolutely. Speaking of that, what is your preferred method of watching women's sports? I know people will say, like, oh, it's just so hard. They're not on TV. Their social medias aren't popular. What do you guys do?
All right. This is a plug for YouTube TV. And
Me too.
I am plugging it out there because the algorithm that happens on YouTube TV, I don't know what they're doing. I don't know. I'll research it eventually. But you watch one women's sports game, doesn't matter what it is. They will now recommend to you the quad lineup of women's sports of whatever you choose. And to me, I think that makes it easier to watch women's sports.
Amen. I'm on that bus.
You like one YouTube video about women's sports, it's in your YouTube lineup.
Suggestions.
I love it. I love it so much. That is how I'm watching my women's sports.
What about you guys?
Yeah, so this is very nerdy. I totally agree with YouTube, but I also like there's a lot of newsletters you can get, and sometimes it can be just bite-sized information. So a couple that I like that they usually come daily, or if not daily, every few days. So there's Just Women's Sports. It's like Together, and then it's like RX. It's a media organization founded by Alex Morgan, Chloe Kim.
Love them.
Thank you. Yeah, there's a couple. There's a couple other players, and I'm so sorry I'm forgetting. But it's essentially women who are prolific in their sports across different sports. There's the Gist and Pivotal. So for me, that's really fun because also it's like they'll also include channels where you can watch sports. So for example, like the National Women's Soccer League. Unfortunately, there's not just one channel. Like some are on Amazon, some are on Paramount. So that's been really helpful. That and of course like YouTube you were saying, but those are great and they're all free. I would say for subscribe, you get it in your inbox. If you don't like it, unsubscribe. But those have been great for following.
Yeah, for sure. Same. Co-signed, all of that. I know that Amazon Prime's been showing a couple of the different sports that are going on. Not every team, unfortunately, but they've been showing a lot of those. But I also do really enjoy college sports and college women's sports. So big Penn State volleyball fan. Love that. I was screaming in a bar by myself one time. It was fantastic. Everyone was like, "What are you watching?" I'm like, "The game's on. Stop. Like, we got to pause here." But the game. Like, what else? What does anyone else care about? But there's also some same thing where they send out newsletters and they'll put like, "Hey, we're actually going to live stream this one on just YouTube or on our Instagram or something like that." That gives you a little bit snippets. But those social media platforms also that you're talking about, they show those highlights and those reels and you can watch the recaps because you don't have time for everything. Let's be honest. We're busy people out here. So being able to watch those quick scrolls and get really excited about a bunch of things at one time is also super helpful too.
I will say I love the social media aspect of it. I get a lot of my information from social, obviously, but I love that a lot more of the sports related accounts are now including women's sports. Bleacher, which I hate to plug, but like they are showing more and more of women's sports on their socials, and I love that. And I share them. I think I've shared them with you guys a handful of times. They show the different records people are breaking. They show the highlights. I also love that the Betches account also
Yes.
started a sports account, and I definitely would recommend following them.
I follow Betches Sports.
It's great.
It's hilarious.
There's that Sports Girls Club or whatever that one is too. Yeah.
Bring the memes.
Actually,
Overtime Hockey is another one. That's a
good
female
one.
run Instagram channel. Women Changing the Game.
Stud buds.
Stud Butts,
Stud
obviously.
Buds.
Stud buds for sure.
You touched on it. Lisa Leslie has a podcast that's worth listening to. Aaliyah Boston does a podcast with Candace Parker.
Kristen
The
Press.
Post Up, I think is what it's called. That one's pretty good. I recently, as a Cowboys fan, gonna plug them.
Boom.
Girls Talk, Boys Talk is a podcast, and it's all women talking Cowboys football, and I feel like it's very listenable for me compared to rival stations.
Damn.
You know what? I'll listen with you.
Actually, one thing now that I'm going to say that it kind of goes off what you were saying earlier, Bleacher. I think one thing for me that is exciting, like, because you said, you were sending us a lot of this. I feel like there's a lot of resources, right, that we like because we all care and love about women's sports. And they're definitely, like, even the branding is women's sports focused. But for me, it's really exciting that you have franchises that aren't even necessarily associated with women's sports focusing on it, because I think that's how you get people in. Not to call out men, but to call out men.
You're
We had it
special.
coming.
It's not
We're
for
looking
you.
at you.
Not you, Tanner. Not you, Tanner.
You are
Like,
an ally.
Yeah, but I mean, I can even tell
I'm
you.
Alan.
I can even tell you, like, the difference when I think about guy friends I have or people I play sports with or whatever, like, they're starting to know more. So I think it's not even, I don't think it's like a malicious intent they're not trying to follow. I think it's like, well, I follow ESPN and Bleacher Report. And so when they start to advertise it, it organically makes you start to care. So for me, that's also exciting that it's not just the resources that are created and curated for people passionate about women's sports, but it's other people very organically being like, yeah, this is exciting. Like, that replay was incredible. I think about last year, the WNBA championship. That's one of the best things I've seen forever. And, like, I think that's also really exciting for me. It's just, it helps people outside of people who would probably naturally care to start caring in a way that feels organic.
That was really beautifully said.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Like, I feel like I can't add, like you said, everything.
I grew up with all brothers for context, so this is where it's coming from.
I'm over here getting hype. I'm like, yeah, man, let's go check it out.
Just a PSA, it's hot to like women's sports.
Oh,
Let's
yeah.
just say that.
Yeah, also, if
Love
you're
it.
trying to date and you hate women's sports, we'll hate you.
We're gonna hate you. We're absolutely gonna hate you.
Yeah, 100%. That's the number one ick. Like, if someone was like, ugh, like WNBA, I'd be like, well, okay, bye, don't single. Like,
Yeah. Good luck in the manosphere.
True, though.
It's really
True.
working out for those guys.
Kristen, Connie, any final thoughts from y'all?
Like you said, I don't think I can top that. That was my final thought from here.
No, I love that so much. She said it so eloquently. I think more women's sports in the Sports Center top 10, please.
Yes,
More.
Yes.
absolutely. And the more mainstream it becomes, the more we're gonna see of it. Connie, Christine, KShock, tell the people where to find you.
Yeah, how do we find you guys?
Yeah, sure. So I am on Instagram at Connie Marie Tam, but I would love for you to follow us here at the winery at Waters Edge Winery _Dallas on Instagram.
Okay, I'm technically on Instagram, but I never actually go on. So just find me here. Just find me at the winery, and we're good.
There it is.
I was very curious what Christine was going to say.
Yeah,
I
the
was
answer
too.
is through them. The answer through them. I'm basically a boomer in a millennial body.
I am on TikTok, X, formerly known as Twitter, and Instagram, all by the name of K_Shock.
Amazing. Thank you, ladies, for doing this with me. It's been a long time coming. I love that we literally just did a women's sports episode. My heart is so happy. Thank you to Waters Edge Winery and Bistro for hosting us with these beautiful,
Delicious.
sparkling rosés and the snacks that we got before. Super appreciate it. You guys come down in the winery, watch all the sports. They always have sports on here. It's a lovely venue with a lounge space and a dining space, so you get two for the price of one. Thank you, Tanner, for doing all the magical things you do to help us out. And you can find me at pouring.takes on Instagram, at pouringtakes.com. You'll see all of our channels.
And their merch.
And our merch. You know, get your Pouring Takes merch or your Dallas Sports Girl merch. Still hashing that out. But yeah, I'm excited to debut my new clothing line.
Yay! New clothes.
New clothes. Again, girls. thank you.
Cheers. Time for brunch.
Cheers to the women.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Pouring Takes. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'd like to thank OMGFixit.com, Throw It Back Karaoke, and of course, Water's Edge Winery here in Lake Highlands, Dallas. Have a good day.